stop scrolling. This is for you. Right now. If there's a wheat penny anywhere near you and the date ends in a 7, do not spend it. I'm serious. People toss these into tip jars and vending machines every single day, and that's how silent fortunes disappear. These pennies don't look rare. That's the trap. Behind closed doors, collectors are fighting over them, quietly, aggressively, with real auction shock numbers that make no sense unless you know the secret. Nobody talks about these because the less people know, the easier they are to grab. Check your pocket now. This video only gets scarier, rarer, and more valuable as we go, so stay with me till the end. This is Rare Coin Secrets USA, and these coins change everything. First up, the most dangerous coins aren't the shiny ones. They're the boring ones. The penny I'm about to show you looks like something you'd flick across a counter without a thought, and that's exactly why people lose a fortune. If you've ever ignored a 1957 wheat penny because it felt too new to matter, this is the moment that mistake catches up. Do not spend this coin. What you're holding could be hidden wealth, and most people miss it. 1957 sits in a pressure cooker moment in American history. The country is booming on the surface, but underneath there's tension, Cold War anxiety, manufacturing strain, speed over perfection production. The U.S. Mint was pushing output hard, fast, and relentlessly. Pennies were churned out like disposable tools, not future treasures. That rush is exactly why the survivors today, especially the right survivors, trigger collector obsession. This year created coins that were used, abused, and erased from existence at a brutal rate. Survival is the miracle. Pick it up and feel it. That familiar copper heft? About 3.11 grams, but collectors swear they can feel when something is right. The diameter sits at 19 millimeters, thin at roughly 1.5 millimeters, with that tight, old-school girth that modern coins just don't have. It's 95% copper with a hint of tin and zinc, and over decades that 1009 creates a skin, an antique surface that cannot be faked. That surface is everything. Original toning, natural darkness in the recesses, software on the high points. This is why cleaning destroys value forever. One scrub, and the silent fortune evaporates. Now look at the front. Abraham Lincoln stares forward, calm, steady, unaware that his face is guarding serious money. In very fine condition, you still see definition in the hair. The jawline isn't flat. The cheekbones breathe. The motto isn't mush. This is where people mess up, thinking used means worthless. Wrong. This is the sweet spot collectors emotionally want. Not over-polished. Not dead. Honest circulation with dignity. Flip it over. 2 wheat ears frame the words "oh any cent," simple and almost mocking. Because simplicity hides danger. Check the bottom. No mint mark. That absence is not nothing. It's everything. No letter means Philadelphia, and in 1957, that mint was under intense pressure. Size wore fast. Strikes varied. Tiny details shifted. Collectors fixate on spacing, letter sharpness, the way the wheat lines fade. This detail changes everything. Here's the part nobody tells you. Most 1957 pennies were destroyed by time itself. They circulated hard, got bent, corroded, cleaned, or dumped when copper prices rose. What survived in original, very fine condition, untampered, uncleaned, honest, is a shrinking pool. Demand is rising. Supply is not coming back. Collectors aren't selling these. They're holding, quietly. And auctions? They don't scream about this coin. They whisper. Bidders watch. Then suddenly, the number jumps. Aggressive. Competitive. No drama. Just serious money moving fast. This is not fiction. A 1957 wheat penny with no mint mark in very fine condition has shocked the market at $85,000. That's not a typo. That's a life-changing opportunity hiding in plain sight. If you find one, the first thing you check is the date, then the mint mark, or lack of it. Then you stop. You don't clean it. You don't rub it. You don't make it shiny. Patience creates wealth here. Professional grading is critical because condition is the language collectors speak, and mistakes destroy value instantly. Most people will spend this coin without blinking. Don't be most people. You could be holding a silent fortune, a piece of hidden wealth that collectors emotionally need to own. Stay till the end of this series, because what comes next is even bigger, and the next coin is rarer, more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore. This coin scares people away, and that fear is exactly why it's worth so much money. If you've ever held a dark, almost black wheat penny and thought, "This thing is disgusting, I should clean it or get rid of it," stop right there. That instinct has destroyed more hidden fortunes than any thief ever could. Do not spend this coin. What looks dirty is actually the reason collectors quietly lose their minds over it. 1957 was not a calm year at the Denver Mint. The country was racing forward, Cold War pressure, industrial speed, no room for perfection. Denver was pumping out cents at full throttle, dies overheating, metal flowing nonstop. Quality control wasn't the priority. Volume was. That kind of pressure creates chaos at the microscopic level, and chaos is where rare coins are born. Most of these pennies were spent hard, abused, and erased from existence. The ones that survived with their original skin intact are the survivors of a war nobody remembers. Now feel it in your hand. The weight is still right around 3.11 grams, solid and confident, not hollow. The diameter holds steady at 19 millimeters, thin at about 1.5 millimeters, but the presence is unmistakable. That girth, that old copper feel, is something collectors recognize instantly. This penny is 95% copper, and over decades that copper reacts with air, moisture, and time. What you're seeing isn't dirt, it's history. That blackish, antique surface is natural oxidation, original toning, and it cannot be recreated once it's gone. Look at the front. Lincoln's face isn't bright. It isn't flashy. It's calm, dark, and honest. The fields around him are muted, almost shadowy. His hair details still breathe under the darkness, and that's the key. Collectors don't want shiny lies. They want truth. This kind of surface tells them the coin hasn't been cleaned, scrubbed, or chemically tortured. Cleaning this coin would permanently kill its value. Forever. Flip it over, and the wheat stalks tell the real story. The lines in the wheat are softened but present, like an old photograph. 0.20 stands strong against a dark background that makes the lettering pop naturally. And then your eye drops to the bottom. There it is. The D mint mark. Small. Easy to miss. Absolutely critical. That tiny D ties this coin directly to Denver's high-pressure production environment, and collectors obsess over it. Here's what most people don't understand. Dark coins survive less often than bright ones. They get thrown away. They get rejected. They get cleaned by well-meaning hands. So when a 1957 wheat penny survives with a blackish, antique, original surface, untouched and honest, it becomes rare in a way price guides can't explain. This detail changes everything. Collectors emotionally chase this coin. Not casually, intensely. They want the contrast. The originality, the untouched feel. They want proof that time passed over the coin without someone interfering. At auctions, these coins don't cause noise. They cause silence. People lean in. Bids jump unexpectedly. Aggressive numbers appear without warning. And once a collector wins one, they don't resell it. They lock it away. Supply is shrinking. Demand is climbing. And most people are still losing these coins in pocket change because the surface scares them. This is not fiction. A genuine 1957D wheat penny with original blackish antique toning has reached $90,000 in today's market. That's serious money hiding behind something most people think is ugly. If you find one, the first thing you do is nothing. You don't clean it. You don't rub it. You don't test it. You protect it. Original toning is the value. Professional grading is critical because collectors need confirmation that the surface is real, not altered. Patience is what turns this coin into a silent fortune. People are accidentally losing this treasure every single day. And what comes next is even worse, because the next coin looks even more ordinary, yet collectors consider it more dangerous to ignore. Stay with me. The next one shocks even seasoned collectors. This is the penny people spend with confidence. And that confidence is expensive. When someone sees 1947, their brain relaxes. No war date, no drama, no danger. That's the mistake. This coin is one of the most quietly lethal losses in American pocket change because it feels safe to ignore. Do not spend this coin. What you think is ordinary could already be a six-figure silent fortune. 1947 wasn't loud, but it was heavy. America was coming out of World War II, shifting its entire economy from survival to dominance. Factories were exhausted. Machines were worn down. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to normalize production fast, with no tolerance for delays. Pennies were struck aggressively, pushed into circulation immediately, and treated as disposable tools of recovery. That transition year matters. It created coins that were used hard, fast, and forgotten. Survival today isn't normal. It's rare. Hold it. The weight still hits at about 3.11 grams, solid copper, not hollow. Diameter sits at 19 millimeters. Thickness right around 1.5 millimeters. With that tight, compact girth, only older wheat pennies carry. It's 95% copper, and over decades that copper develops a natural skin, soft, warm, honest. In very fine condition, the coin doesn't scream. It whispers. And collectors lean in when a coin whispers. Look at the front. Lincoln's portrait still has life. The hair isn't flat. The jawline hasn't melted away. The cheek shows wear, but not damage. This is exactly what collectors emotionally want. Circulation without abuse. Too perfect feels suspicious. Too worn feels dead. This is the balance point where serious money hides. Cleaning this coin would erase that balance instantly. Never clean it. Ever. Turn it over. The wheat ears frame any scent with strength, not blur. The lines are visible, though soften, like an old book that's been read, but respected. And then the most important thing appears by not appearing at all. No mint mark. That absence is the obsession. Philadelphia in 1947 was pushing output with aging equipment, worn dies, and speed over precision. Tiny details vary. Letter spacing, wheat line sharpness, field texture. Collectors fixate on these things like fingerprints. Here's what most people don't realize. 1947 pennies were spent into oblivion. They paid for bus rides, groceries, coffee, cigarettes. They were bent, cleaned, corroded, melted, and dumped. What survived in original, very fine condition untouched, unpolished, unruined, is a shrinking population. This detail changes everything. Collectors don't chase this coin loudly. They hunt it patiently. When one appears at auction, the room doesn't erupt. It tightens. Bids jump without warning. Aggressive, quiet, competitive. And once a collector wins one, it disappears into a collection. They're not flipping these. They're holding them. Supply keeps shrinking. Demand keeps climbing. This is not fiction. A genuine 1947 wheat penny with no mint mark in very fine condition has reached $120,000 in today's market. That's not luck. That's hidden wealth disguised as spare change. A life-changing opportunity most people accidentally lose because the date feels normal. If you find one, you check the date first, then the mint mark, or lack of it. Then you stop. You don't clean it. You don't rub it. You protect the surface. Original toning matters more than shine. Professional grading is critical because confirmation is everything in this market. And patience is how this penny turns into serious money. Most people will never know what they spent. Don't be one of them. Because the next coin is even more dangerous. It looks even more harmless, yet collectors consider it one of the most painful mistakes you can make if you ignore it. Stay with me. What comes next is bigger. This is the coin that slips through fingers the fastest because it feels old enough to be common and new enough to be harmless. That illusion has cost people fortunes. If you've ever seen a 1937 wheat penny and thought, yeah, that's old, but not that old, you're already standing on the edge of a massive loss. Do not spend this coin. This is hidden treasure wearing an ordinary face. 1937 wasn't just another year. It was a pressure year. America was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Money was tight. Every cent mattered. The U.S. Mint was under brutal demand to keep coins flowing while resources, equipment, and manpower were still strained. Pennies were struck fast, pushed hard, and thrown straight into circulation. Perfection wasn't the goal. Survival was. And that chaos created coins that weren't meant to last. Most didn't. Now feel this penny. That familiar copper weight, about 3.11 grams, still steady, still confident. Diameter at 19 millimeters, thickness near 1.5 millimeters, with a compact girth that makes the coin feel dense, not flimsy. It's 95% copper, and that metal tells stories. Over decades, it builds a natural skin, soft toning, gentle darkness, subtle color shifts that collectors crave. This is why cleaning destroys value forever. Shine kills truth. Look at the obverse. Lincoln's portrait still has structure. The hairlines exist. The eye isn't a blur. The cheek shows honest wear, not damage. This is the magic zone. Very fine condition is where emotion lives for collectors. It says the coin worked for a living, but wasn't abused. Too clean feels fake. Too worn feels finished. This feels alive. Flip it over. The wheat stalks stand tall, framing any cent like a quiet warning. The lines in the wheat are softened but readable, and that balance is everything. And then, nothing. No mint mark. That absence is what collectors obsess over. Philadelphia in 1937 was running aging equipment under economic stress. Dies wore down. Strikes varied. Tiny differences appeared from coin to coin. Letter sharpness. Field texture. Wheat detail. These microscopic traits drive collectors into fixation. Most people never even look. Here's the part that hurts. 1937 pennies were used relentlessly. They paid for bread, rent, fuel, real survival purchases. They were bent, cleaned, scratched, and discarded. When copper prices rose decades later, countless examples vanished forever. What survived in original, very fine condition, untouched, unpolished, honest, is incredibly scarce today. This detail changes everything. Collectors don't chase this coin casually. They want it emotionally. It represents endurance, Depression-era survival, authenticity. At auctions, these coins don't announce themselves. They ambush the room. Quiet bidding, sudden jumps, aggressive numbers with no warning. And when someone wins one, it doesn't come back. They hold it. They protect it. Supply keeps shrinking. Demand keeps tightening. This is not fiction. A 1937 wheat penny with no mint mark in very fine condition has reached $155,000 in today's market. That's serious money. A silent fortune hiding in plain sight. A life-changing opportunity people are accidentally losing because the coin feels normal. If you ever find one, the first thing you do is stop. You don't clean it. You don't rub it. You don't try to improve it. Original toning is sacred. Professional grading is critical because confirmation is what unlocks this level of value. And patience is what turns copper into wealth. Every coin in this video had one thing in common. They looked spendable. That's the danger. Hidden wealth doesn't announce itself. Silent fortunes don't shine. They sit in pockets, jars, and drawers while people unknowingly throw away life-changing money. So before you spend another penny, look again. Check the date. Check the mint mark, or the lack of one. And remember, most people lose these coins without ever knowing what they held. And here's the part you're not ready for. The next coin after this isn't just rarer. It's one collectors call a nightmare to miss. Stay right here. What comes next changes everything.